What do readers, professional reviewers, and members of Japanese publishing industry think were the best light novels over the last year? Well, Koto light novel ga Sugoi is here to provide us with the answer. Hello everybody, and welcome to this look at this year's Koto light novel ga Sugoi results. In this video and second video, I'm going to be covering the two top 10 lists that they produced. The top 10 Bunkobon, which I'll cover in this video, and the top 10 Tankobon, which I'll cover in a separate video. Basically, the main difference between these two is they are two different types of print formats, Bunkobon being a bit smaller as well as generally more affordable, Tankobon being slightly better quality in terms of the paper used, as well as being larger and more expensive. At times, we also see that the two formats are used to differentiate whether a light novel is original in print format, which will typically be released as a Bunkobon, or if it was originally a web novel format, which will typically be released as a Tankobon. Also, publishers can release stories along a demographics line based on these two formats, with the Bunkobon being aimed at slightly younger people with obviously less income, and also Tankobon then being aimed at slightly older audiences who potentially could be working and have more disposable income. Koto light novel ga Sugoi is pretty significant in terms of its results. It has been going for over 20 years now. Its results are often used as a tool to help promote different series that appear within the rankings, and publishers will spend money to slap stickers on the covers of the books that place in it. They'll use it as a promotional tool. And if you take a look at the list of previous winners of Koto light novel ga Sugoi that have appeared on the rankings, you can see a pretty clear correlation between not only light novels that are licensed for English or other international releases, but also that receive anime adaptations. So from a Western perspective, Koto light novel ga Sugoi is an interesting look ahead in a way at books that we may very well see licensed in the future, as well as if you're an anime fan, it's a glimpse at perhaps which anime series you may see down the road. So without further ado, let's get to the top 10 Bunkobon that were listed in Koto light novel ga Sugoi. Now, I'll be announcing these titles with English translated titles just because I am absolutely horrid at doing Japanese pronunciations. But if you want the romanization of the Japanese titles, I'll have those in the description down below. At number 10, we have The Detective is Already Dead. This one is licensed for release in English by Yen On. Kimihiko Kimazuka has always been a magnet for trouble and intrigue. For as long as he can remember, he's been stumbling across murder scenes or receiving mysterious attaché cases to transport. When he met Siesta, a brilliant detective fighting a secret war against an organization of pseudo-humans, he couldn't resist the call to become her assistant and join her on an epic journey across the world. Until a year ago, that is. Now, he's returned to a life that is normal and tepid by comparison, knowing the adventure must be over. After all, the detective is already dead. At number 9, the story of buying a classmate once a week. Our time together, the 5,000 yen excuse. This one is currently not licensed for English release. The capricious daily life of a high school girl gradually changes. Miyagi is strange. Once a week, she pays me 5,000 yen for the right to command me. We play games together, she feeds me sweets, and sometimes, depending on her mood, she gives risky orders. It's been half a year since we started sharing secrets, yet she says we are not friends. Hey, Miyagi, if this isn't friendship, then what kind of relationship do we have? That person. There's no particular reason it has to be Sendai-san. She just went along with my whimsical idea, that's all. So today, like always, I test her, the girl who never refuses any command. I wonder, if we end up in different classes next spring, will she continue this relationship? Right now, that's just a little concern of mine. At number 8, doing more than lovers do with you who are not my girlfriend. This one is not officially licensed in English. Fun, carefree, and casual relationships. Yamase Fuyu, exhausted from his black company job, spends a night with his ex-girlfriend, Ito, after reuniting with her from his university days. Inviting her for drinks, they reminisce and vent frustrations, enjoying a friendship that seemed just right. However, under the influence of alcohol, they end up sleeping together. Fuyu regrets it, but Ito seriously tells him not to apologize. Don't talk about getting serious. Let's just be together because it feels right, Ito says. Ito, too, is tired of the pressures and constraints society imposes on adults. Thus, they embark on a peculiar relationship that excludes complicated things like work and love, focusing only on having fun. A healing and slightly erotic series of short stories for those tired of societal demands. I guess this one maybe kind of goes against that whole, aimed at a younger audience. Let's say there are definitely outliers. At number 7, we misinterpret the reading. This one is not currently licensed in English. In the life of a student, every day is a quest for answers to the unknown, answers to tomorrow's test, the latest gossip in class, or who the person you like has feelings for. I, Yuma Takahisa, was also grappling with a peculiar question. It revolved around the words written on an eraser. I like you. This message was believed to be a sign of mutual affection with my crush, the literary girl Masa Wakamiya. However, that romance ended in failure. So who else could it be? This confusion began to unravel in the spring of my high school entrance. You're just the person I needed. I'm in a bit of a bind, said Seina Munakata, the sunny girl who seemed to attract the small mysteries of the school. These mysteries turned out to be events where numerous love stories intertwined, creating a complex tapestry of mysteries. At number 6, Stella Step. This one again is not licensed in English. In a world devastated by a sudden meteorite strike, people have established new nations and continue to engage in conflict and plunder. In this harsh reality, the role of violence in interstate warfare has been replaced by young girls known as idols. In the sand country, covered by deserts, there exists an idol who is revered by the citizens and feared by other girls. This girl, Rain, is solely focused on enhancing her skills, seemingly having left her emotions behind. Her undefeated record as the strongest idol seemed unbreakable. However, everything changes when she encounters Hana, a girl who sings with rich emotion. Hana's presence halts Rain's unbeaten streak. This encounter awakens unfamiliar feelings in Rain's heart. This is a story of love and bonds between girls born in a colorless world. At number 5, running through the transparent night with you, I fell in love with an invisible love. We do not have this in English. The blind girl can't see my face, but this love is visible only to us. I'd like to set off fireworks someday. In the early days of April, still too soon for fireworks, in the night of Tokyo, a timid university student, Sorano Kakeru, meets a woman. Her name is Fuyutsuki Koharu, strikingly beautiful, often laughing, and the complete opposite of himself, bright and outgoing. That was his first impression of her. However, she was blind. Yet, she still attended university every day, showed interest in clubs, and made friends. Unlike him, she hadn't given up on anything. Not even on her dream of setting off fireworks. Blind, yet dreaming of fireworks? Such preconceptions were no longer needed. Before he knew it, he found himself running for the girl who was always by his side. At number 4, living in a bathtub. This one does not have an English release. 22-year-old girl starts living in her parents' bathtub. Human beings are just too high-strung. Isuhara Medaka is a girl with a slightly different sensibility from others. Born small and raised small, she has almost no desires typical of others. She lacks material desires, has little appetite, no interest in romance, and doesn't want to become anyone in the future. If possible, she wished to die at 20. Supported by her fun-loving family, a father who constantly farts, a mother who overcame cancer twice, and a creative, prank-loving brother, she lived a relatively enjoyable life. However, when she left her parents' home for a job, an incident occurred. Unable to endure her boss's power harassment, she fell ill mentally and returned to her parents' home in just 1 month. Seeking refuge, she began living in the comforting space of the bathtub. She laid a mattress, stuffed it with plush toys like packing materials, and brought in a computer, a small refrigerator, and an electric kettle. Moreover, with soundproofing and air conditioning installed, the bathroom transformed into a comfortable space. But the Isuhara family couldn't always stay the same. At number 3, Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. We do have this one licensed in English from Yen on. Alyssa Mikhailovna Kojo is Seirin Private Academy's solitary princess. She's a half-Russian beauty with silver hair, at the top of her class, student council accountant, and completely unapproachable. For some reason, she's also taken on the responsibility of reprimanding the slacker who sits next to her in class. Masachika Kuze is constantly frustrating her by falling asleep, forgetting his textbooks, and just being an overall unexemplary student. Or at least, that's how it looks from the outside. She may put on a tough act, but she doesn't mind Masachika as much as others would think. She even lets him call her by her nickname, Alia. Anyone hearing the comments she mutters in Russian under her breath might know how she really feels, but since none of her classmates understands the language, she's free to say whatever she likes. Except, there is one person who knows what she's saying. Masachika eavesdrops on her embarrassing revelations, pretending to be clueless, all the while wondering what her flirtatious comments actually mean. At number 2, playing death games to put food on the table. And this one is licensed for English release by Yen On. Yuki wakes up to find herself wearing a maid's uniform in a strange manner. After wandering into the dining room, she comes across 5 other girls, each in the exact same outfit. Soon, the girls learn that the manor is brimming with lethal weapons and an array of deadly traps, and that they can only escape by playing the most gruesome of games. As the terrifying truth sets in, each girl's face goes pale, except Yuki's. Why? Because this isn't her first go-round. That's right, Yuki is a professional death game player who lives off the prize money she collects from winning brutal, killing competitions. And she's not about to let this chance pass her by. Finally, at number 1, The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. This one we have available in English from Yen On. Mahiru is a beautiful girl whose classmates all call her an angel. Not only is she a star athlete with perfect grades, she's also drop-dead gorgeous. Amane, an average guy and self-admitted slob, has never thought much of the divine beauty, despite attending the same school. Everything changes, however, when he happens to see Mahiru sitting alone in a park during a rainstorm. Thus begins the strange relationship between this incredibly unlikely pair. So those are the top 10 Bunkobon from this year's Koto light novel ga Sugoi. We have about half of these in English, but a good chunk we don't. And it's funny, I didn't cover Koto light novel ga Sugoi the last couple years, but it's interesting to see that the Bunkobon list continues to be pretty heavily dominated by slice-of-life stories. It was something that I noticed a couple years back when there was not a single isekai on the Bunkobon list. In fact, an argument could be made that the Bunkobon list was entirely dominated by titles that were at least set in our world. Now, obviously this one's a little bit different, like Stella Step and The Detective Is Already Dead are a little different, but really a good, 80% of these are just about everyday people having relationships, dealing with their own mental health. It's kind of interesting, especially, as I said, when you see the generalized statements that typically Bunkobon are aimed at younger audiences. In any case, the Tankobon list will be next. I will be covering that. I'll put a link in the video next to me, so I hope you'll go check that one out and take a look and see what else they thought was good this past year in the world of light novels. In the meantime, thank you for checking out this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.